All right, man. I'm excited. Welcome to the Domestic Draft Podcast. I am Dan, and actually, Evan is not here. He's on vacation right now, so we got a surprise co-host. Been on the show before. He's my buddy. His name's Blake, also AKA Some Words. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's get cracking. What do you got over there?
Let's do it. I got a tome from Half Acre. It's a hazy pale ale from a brewery in Chicago. Actually, my favorite brewery in Chicago.
I believe it's Evans as well. He's had a ton of Half Acre on there.
Really? Yeah, they're great. And I don't know if the tasting room is still open with COVID and everything, but they used to have some great food over there on Lincoln as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty dope place.
I used to actually work at a whiskey burger bar, like not too far down that tasting room at Rocks over there in North Center. It was a good time over there. Very nice, man. I have this is my first beer from them. It's a brewery out here. It's Epic Brewery. The beer is called 1045 to Denver. It's an IPA. But a little background in Epic. I had no idea this story until I did a little research that it was originally founded Epic EPPIG in 1866 in Brooklyn by Leonard Epic, right? And he was a brewer there for a long time, even survived Prohibition, but then soon sold the company in 1935 to where it kind of ran dormant for a long time. The company wasn't a brewery. Epic was no longer in production until the great granddaughter, Stephanie Epic, decided to kind of revamp it and do Epic 2.0 here in San Diego with their partner. And they went ahead and recruited some brewers from Ballast Point. And they opened up Epic 2.0, I believe, in like 2016, right around then. So really cool story
Nice.
that I had no idea about. And the beer is pretty good. It's got a untapped score of 3.8. It is an IPA. It's 7%. And I don't know what the name 1045 to Denver has to do with it, but it's a West Coast IPA, celebrates San Diego's historic hoppy heritage. Intense aromas of dank mosaic hops are backed up with the pleasant pine and grapefruit notes. Pretty good. Prost.
Nice, dude. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Cheers. So since you're here, and last time you were on the show, we kind of did an interview, an in-depth dive on your music career as Some Words. And I know just from, seeing you on social media, being your friend, you had a show over the summer. So you were back on stage. Do you want to tell us kind of what that felt like to be back out there?
So it was do-it-yourself backyard show in Logan Square a few weekends ago. Felt really good to be back, man. It's been, I think the last show was 2019, November 2019. So had quite a few new songs, a premiere. Just a lot more practice too. And just,
I saw you out there with you had like a pedal. Were you doing like vocals? Is that what was going on there?
Yeah. So there are some new live elements for sure. I've got some effects to make it a little more dynamic and stuff. So that's been fun to master. And definitely add just more range to the show.
That's sick. And also you got a new song that you just dropped for a limited time only. You want to talk about maybe the inspiration or the process of that and how you kind of were able to create it?
Yeah, so that song has actually been kind of in the can for a little while here. I got the beat from a friend, Vince Von Giovanni. I think last January, and I've kind of had it written, but haven't had time to really put it down. And I actually previously made a song with him as well called Televised Dreams, which is also up on streaming services now. But for a limited time only, really, it's about just like, making the most of your life. We're here for a limited time only. Try to do things you want to do. Don't be afraid of trying new things. Just go for it. So, I mean, obviously, it can be kind of a dreary days, with everything going on these days. So yeah. I think it can resonate with people. Just like, no better time than now to go for whatever you want to try.
I love that message. I love that. You only live once for a limited time only. Love that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then with Chicago podcast, San Diego podcast, Pitchfork Fest, and talking about music. It's a festival we've been to a couple times. Always had a lot of fun. It was, pretty small when we were first going there. I feel like Animal Collective has performed there every year. So how was it? Who'd you go see? What was the best act? Any surprise acts? I know like way back when we saw Currency was there, a couple other folks as well. So how was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was great. I went Friday and Saturday, and uh, funny enough, I did see Animal Collective that Friday. They premiered a bunch of new music, which was awesome. It sounded really cool. They played a lot of B-sides off of Strawberry Jam, off of Meriwether Post Pavilion. It was a really great set. I will say the best show of the weekend that I saw was St. Vincent Saturday night. She headlined and she wails. Shredded, growled, howled. Her voice was amazing. Amazing rock star show presence, just from top to bottom, an amazing show. And then I will say the show, I mean, and maybe it didn't surprise me because I was really looking forward to it, but reiterated my love for the guy, Maxo Cream. He's a rapper out of Houston. He's got a new song with Tyler the Creator actually as well, but he rapped some songs and he crushed it at the Blue Stage. I believe that was Saturday as well. He crushed it.
Nice. I've never heard of him, but what was his name?
It's Maxo Cream. It's Maxo and then Cream with a K.
All right, no free ads. We'll give him a look though. We'll listen to him.
Nice.
And just like envisioning it in my head and hearing you talk about it and just remembering one of the best things of Chicago is like summer festivals or summer like neighborhood block parties as well. And it's like winding down right now, and the couple of the last ones are still going on, and that's one thing I miss, man. I miss those street festivals, just hanging out in your neighborhood, hanging out with friends, having a good time, having a beer, maybe having a half acre, right?
Yeah, totally. And the thing about Pitchfork too is that it wasn't very crowded. Everyone's there pretty much for the music. So you got a good chill crowd to hang out with while you're seeing the live music.
Right on. All right. I am embarrassed to transition here, but I have to, and I have to talk about this. Evan and I created, if you've been listening, we created our own fantasy football league with fellow podcasters as well. It's called the Fantasy Football League of Podcasters, the Flop. It's a 14 team. Most of them are with their podcasting partners who have drafted. And unfortunately, after week one, Domestic Draft Podcast is in last place. We put up 95 points last week. Not the best effort. And, while we were drafting, we drafted old. We drafted Julio Jones, AB, who actually had a good game, Antonio Brown. But, Joe Burrow had a good game, CeeDee Lamb. But then we had Julio with a 5. Zeke Elliott had nothing as well. Edwards-Helaire with a 10. I really don't like Edwards-Helaire. I feel like everyone had to draft him in the first round, but and we didn't play Antonio Brown with a 23 spot. So a tough start, but for all those other podcasters out there in that league, good for you if you won there. We're looking for a rebound here in week 2, covering the Domestic Draft Fantasy Football League of Podcast. We're 0-1. Sucks.
Do we think Zeke is going to be good though? Because I don't know, man. He didn't look great just from the eye test.
Yeah, and just like staying on the topic of fantasy football, we could talk about maybe some of surprises or players. I know we both play as well that we like watching. For Zeke, I mean, man, I used to have this guy like on my team a few years in a row, about 4 years ago. But now with the Cowboys of late, it just seems like no one can stay healthy. I mean, even today, it's not a fantasy player, but Lawrence, their defensive end, broke his foot in practice. Dak had that shoulder in training camp. So I don't know. I think Zeke still has the potential. Dallas is just such a show where everything's under a microscope as well. So it's so much pressure to produce and succeed. Those receivers looked really sharp. So maybe they're going to start airing it out and move away from the ground attack.
I mean, that would be good for my fantasy team. I have Amari Cooper. I have Amari Cooper. And I thought it was a little risky to grab him, but I mean, he showed up for week 1. He said he was one of the best in the league, and he needed to show it, and he definitely showed it week 1.
Yeah, Hard Knocks. Love watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can be good. I think he can. I mean, sometimes it's a tip here and a tip there where a season can get, or an injury here, injury there, where a season can really get, destroyed. And it's definitely a good showing and a good start to this season for him.
Definitely. Yeah, I've always liked Amari Cooper. Oakland was a tough position for him. He went to Alabama, I believe, as one of the top receivers that came out of Alabama during that time as well. But I was really happy with my other team that I have. I'm also in a personal league with Evan and Kyler Murray, stud. Adam Thielen, Evan was giving me shit that he's washed up, went ahead and got 2 touchdowns that week. And then we have a bet going, Evan and I. We made it at the draft. You were there, actually. And we bet that my player, Chuba Hubbard, backup for Carolina, would score more than Sony Michel. So far, I believe Chuba is in front of Sony, but both of them combined, I believe, haven't scored more than 5 points. So Sony got 0.2 and Chuba got like 3 points. So it's off to a heated start. But that's where we're at with that bet. And we had a bunch of other bets as well. But how's your fantasy teams looking? Anything to talk about?
My fantasy team, I won. One thing I wonder what to do for next week is I have Lamar Jackson and Matt Stafford. And honestly, if I'm the Ravens, if I'm a fantasy owner, am I worried about Lamar Jackson? 3 fumbles, 2 of which he recovered.
Right, he was running loose with that ball was that Monday night?
Yeah.
And just he's diving forward. And the way he dives forward is like, he doesn't cover up the ball 2 hands or whatever. He kind of like Supermans it. And that thing
did like a flip that one time
out in the open, and you just punch it right out. And yeah, it's almost like every time he, was scrambling in crunch time, he's just trying too hard, right? He's trying to get that extra down or extra yardage and trying to extend the play. And then he's exposing himself and he's getting the ball. I would go Stafford. If you've listened, I'm really high on Stafford this year. I think he had like the highest rating this year or this week against the Bears. And just torched us. But I think LA is going to be a dangerous team. So,
I mean, Sean McVay with that laser rocket arm, right? I mean,
yeah, and the mind. They both have that photographic memory. Like it's just a battle of nerds in that quarterback room right now of, quarterback speak.
As a Bears fan, I'm excited for Matt Stafford to finally not be on the lowly Lions and just be squandering his talent there.
Yeah. Another guy that I'm happy I got on my team is Jamar Chase. He's a rookie in Cincinnati. I got him in a couple of my teams this year, and just knowing that he was Joe Burrow's guy at LSU, and then Cincinnati goes and takes him in the first round, top 5 pick, I believe, as well. And then he just, everyone was like going nuts on his quote that like the ball's bigger or like it doesn't have the white stripes, so it's harder to see and catch. And like, this guy's not going to do it. And then he comes in the first week and just, 5 reception, 100 yards, touchdown, just doing stud things.
That was awesome. Did you see there was like an edit on Twitter of an LSU touchdown just like that, and then mixed with the touchdown of the Bengals, and it's just like, man, just like they used to do it, huh?
Yeah. It's like, Coach O wishes he had this still down there in LSU.
Seriously.
And that's about it. I mean, my team kind of showed up. I got Melvin Gordon on the bench. I'm looking at it out there in Denver. I know there's like a huge kind of timeshare there, but he had like a 60-yard run, I think, that really put him over the edge there. Things that I'm worried about is I'm holding on to Michael Thomas in quite a few leagues. Coming back, he's on the pup list right now, but
yeah,
that's about it for me. For fantasy, if we can go, we took some picks last week as well, and I'm just going to go over them really quick. Unfortunately, our week 1 NFL picks, I'm just going to go overall record here, and we'll keep track of this. I'll keep a running tally, and I'm pretty sure I'll beat Evan on this. But currently after week 1, I went 10-6 after week 1. Evan went 7-9. Some of the ones we got right together is the Bucs over the Cowboys, Seahawks over the Colts, Eagles over the Falcons, Chargers over the Washington football team, Niners over the Lions, Chiefs over the Browns. And that's it. Those are the only ones we got right together. And then a couple losses here and there. But speaking of losses, this is going to be fun to talk about. It was so much fun, man.
Bears.
Week 1, we were like texting, we're going back and forth just to like celebrate in misery again, with like football being back and our team just like disappointing us. It felt good to do that, but also so frustrating.
Man, also, it was just an amazing day of football. I mean, amazing week, starting with the Thursday night game. Game, great Sunday of football, waiting for the Bears. And man, what a buzzkill.
It was like, I mean, I was still bought in at halftime. What was it, like 13-7 at half?
Totally, me too.
We went for it twice, like on fourth down, which was like so busy. Like, what were we doing, man? We were going at fourth. I mean, you liked it.
I kind of liked it. I will say, I kind of like that. I mean, the thing is, though, I wish they would run routes that are past the first down marker.
You saw the same chart I saw, didn't you?
Yeah,
Allen Robinson.
Not only that, but I mean, even I think the most damning thing was Marquise Goodwin saying, I think it was yesterday, that, how do you go against a player like
Ramsey?
Exactly, like Jalen Ramsey. And he's like, well, you just got to send some people deep and open it up a little bit, but I don't pick the plays. I just run the routes.
Yeah, that's an interesting quote there.
For a first player to say that too.
First year, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. First year player to say that about your head coach. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, our defense looked awful. That play in the first half where they threw it up deep and Eddie Jackson and the other corner, I forget who, don't touch the receiver like on the 15-yard line.
Gibson.
And the guy just gets up and scampers for a touchdown. Like, you're just yelling at your TV, right? You're just like, that is the number one rule. You touch him when he's down. What are you doing?
Horrible. Later on with the Cooper Kupp missed coverage, just wide open at the 5. I mean, that's the thing. The offense actually, I mean, despite the Andy Dalton red zone interception, right? Some of the bad third and shorts, some of the bad play calls for those fourth down attempts, offense was not bad. David Montgomery was good. The defense was horrible. Yeah, the secondary was horrible.
I felt like watching the game, we couldn't get a pass rush. I'm also curious from watching that game as well, just how good LA might be, to where it's like that, that might be one of the better teams, if not top 3 in the NFL. And we looked like crap, but also, we got a lot of things to fix, and probably we're changing quarterbacks this season.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully as soon as possible. But speaking of LA, I mean, especially their defense is so good. So to put up 14 points on them like that, I mean, it's not horrible. You clean that up in the red zone when Andy Dalton throws that away. That's 21 points, I mean, that's what's going to be against a dominant defense with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
I was kind of caught off surprise on that first drive. Like, I was like just getting settled in, like how that it was a Sunday night game. So you're like all watching, I'm eating dinner, getting settled in. All of a sudden, Montgomery goes for like a 40-yard run, and we're in the red zone. Like, what? I'm like, what the hell is happening? The Bears are moving the ball. We're looking good. And then Dalton threw that pick. And if I look at like the replays on there too, I'm like, who was he throwing it to? Because it looked like you had a guy in the seam. You looked like you had a guy running a corner, and he kind of just threw it like in the in-between land between the both of them. It just got picked off right away. And then from there, they come down and score a touchdown. Our next possession, I believe, was the first time we went for it on fourth down as well, which, I mean, you kind of like the idea with Nagy, knowing that this might be a shootout that you want to go for. I like the
aggressiveness.
But we left, 9 points on the board?
Yeah, I mean,
we ended up losing by 20, but I mean, leaving 9 points on the board is a little frustrating as well.
Yeah, definitely changes the momentum too. I also think that I think Andy Dalton was just forcing it to Allen Robinson. I think he was really eyeing him. I think there were some plays where you had the open Cole Kmet, you had an open.
Yeah, everyone saw that screenshot, right?
He's doing exactly.
That 5-yard drag across the middle.
Man. I also heard that was the first read of the play. So if that's the first read, then you're really just not even going through the progressions, and you're just eyeing Allen Robinson, just forcing it into him. I mean, I thought we have Andy Dalton because he knows the system.
Yeah. It's just frustrating, man, because you watch other games around the league, right? We watch Red Zone all day. We got our fantasy teams, and you see quarterbacks just hucking it up there, right? This 40-yard throw, 50, like just throwing bombs. Like Jameis Winston threw 5 touchdowns. And the whole time you're watching the Bears game, like I was thinking the same thing. Like, oh man, Dalton's all right. Like he's getting out quick. Mm-hmm. Like we're completing it. He like threw it like, I don't know, like close to 50 times. But you look at those route trees and like they're all just like 5-10 yard like ins or slants or, like back shoulder, nothing deep, nothing threatening. And if you're thinking about like coaching strategy, it almost seemed as if we were buying into the rhetoric that, the Rams are just too good on defense. You can't throw it on them. Right. So why even try, which is infuriating. Like the why even try it kind of thing,
Do max protection, double team Aaron Donald, keep everybody at home, let the running back stay home and come out for a little flat if after he gets a little chip block on somebody, and let someone go deep, open it up. Yeah. You can make the time, even for Andy Dalton, you can make the time to get a 5-step drop and
so there's the conversation, like why have this max protection? Why bring in another, fullback or tight end when you have Justin Fields on the sideline, who watching Kyler Murray, watching Russell Wilson, watching these quarterbacks that are mobile, who can get out of the pocket and make a play out of a broken play, right? You watch the pressure on Andy Dalton, and as soon as he had to like go through his progression, realize nothing's there, and like tuck it down, you're just like, well, that's the play. Like, there's no way we're going to get a second opportunity. There's no way we're going to extend this play. Even like watching the Monday night game, Derek Carr was able to do that, right? To just kind of get out and extend the play. So
speaking of bombing it, that guy was just letting it go. That guy just throws it like a punt in the air.
but so that last play was nuts. Do you think Justin Fields plays more week 2?
I hope so. I hope they let him play an actual drive instead of just coming in for a play here and a play there. Here, come throw a 10-yard dart, and then, okay, we're going to bring Andy Dalton. He'll throw an interception in the end zone. Here, come on in. You're going to hand it off because we're going to be coy with what you're going to do. It's too cute. Just let the guy come in and play a little bit.
Just let him play?
Put pressure on the DBs for an extended play where he's making a play and the opposing defensive backs have to guard our receivers for more than 2 seconds.
Right. Yeah. I know I've been saying that, like, give them to week 4 to really settle in and then kind of give them the keys to the car kind of deal. But if I go through another week of not throwing it past like 10 yards and just doing these little dink and dunks with Andy Dalton, I might start changing the tone of my voice there about that. It was awesome to see him come in, and then for him, like, first time in the red zone, get the ball and get a touchdown. You're just like, dude, this guy just knows how to find the end zone. Like, he just knows.
Just right.
He's just a competitor, right? He wants to get into the end zone. He knows how to find the end zone, whether it's on the run or through the air. And I am somebody who was like, we can wait and see, now kind of wanting. I mean, I'm so impatient, wanting to change my narrative and put him in. Even the national narrative is kind of like that as well, to where, like,
I mean, now they're all catching on,
and everyone's saying, like, well, look at Mahomes, he sat his first year. Now a lot of people are like, if he didn't, or if he would have played that for his rookie year, maybe the Chiefs win the Super Bowl that year. Maybe it wasn't the right call. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of pass the thing of like, oh, you're going to break him. It's like, I'm kind of the school of thought that if he's going to get broken by it, then he's going to probably break at some other point. And he's not the guy that you need. You need a guy. Like, you could make the argument that Mitch Trubisky maybe would have done better in a better environment, and Nagy would have played more to his strengths instead of trying to just stick to his scheme. But I still don't think Mitch Trubisky is the guy. I think Justin Fields is the guy. He's got it.
Yeah. I hope so, man. I really hope so. Are we buying stock in Cole Kmet?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. I mean, this was like the first game to really actually see him out there. But then there was that one play too where we just like fourth down, there was a Jimmy Graham for like 15 yards and he caught it and flexed on people. I was like, why isn't Cole like that? Why can't Cole go one-on-one? And that was on Jalen Ramsey as well. One-on-one Jalen Ramsey, box him out just like a basketball player. Exactly. And then have the quarterback throw it up, 10 feet because you're 6'6" and you can go up and get it.
I mean, maybe it is just still a confidence, a sophomore season type situation, but he better change that, because he better start getting aggressive and pulling it down, because pretty much every team now, every good offense, has that huge tight end basketball player type that is going to be a matchup problem for any linebacker, any defensive back, and is just going to catch it. I mean, you look at Darren Waller. That guy was targeted like 20 times.
Yeah. We buying stock on Montgomery?
Yes, I am. I think
he looked really good. I know it's always been his thing as well too, of like, playing through the first contact. That's what he does like the best out of any running back, is like once you get hands on him, he's always able to get at least like kind of, 5 more yards. I did see him hurt his hand. I felt like he came back in the game, was fine, but I'm wondering if that's going to be anything.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just always chalk that stuff up to it's just the NFL, and they're probably just getting little fractures here and there, little broken that you probably don't even ever hear about. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, you're just gonna play with it and just. Right. But I did see a stat about Montgomery that, I mean, I know it's week 1 only, but I saw that he was first in the NFL with yards after contact.
Yep.
And
I mean, that's his MO. That's that's why they drafted him out of Iowa State.
He's a beast.
Yep. Williams looked all right as well. Damian Williams in the passing game. While we wait for Tariq Cohen to come back from injury. So I was happy with the ground attack. I thought we should have went to it more and stayed away from those 5-yard dig routes and all those comebacks. But
just keep doing it. It's the same amount of time you're taking off the clock, really. You know what I mean? Just let us beat him down, tire him out. You don't need to outsmart yourself. That's what Nagy does. I feel like he just,
man, and every time too, like when on those 4th downs where we don't get it, the cameras just know to find him, and he just looks like so dumb. He's
overwhelmed.
He's like, I can't believe it didn't go the way I planned it. I thought
overwhelmed.
I planned it,
Do you think that it's too much for him to be the coordinator and the head coach?
I think for him to be happy in this position, it has to be that way.
Right.
Because then, otherwise there's that whole, power struggle between the OC and the head coach, and the ego gets in there as well.
But Bill Lazor did it last season, right, for a couple games, and the offense was pretty simple and good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're going into week 2.
Right. This is complete, obviously overreaction Wednesday or Thursday.
Gotta love the first week of like, are we going to the playoffs or Super Bowl? Yes or no after one game.
Now we have 17 weeks too, so it's even more speculation of the math is different. Everything's different now.
Did you see the Packers week 1? Ooh, worst team in the NFL. Bet they're going to the playoffs.
That was weird though, wasn't it? That was weird though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't great. I have Aaron Rodgers on a couple of my fantasy teams as well.
Is he actively tanking just to say, oh, you see, guys?
I heard that conspiracy.
It's not so great without me, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're going to put it together.
No, of course,
yeah, for sure. He's just like, he didn't do training camp. He just showed up week 1. He goes, I got 17 weeks to figure it out. Give me 3 games and we'll be one of the top teams in the NFL.
I did see a statistic about the quarterbacks that did not play in preseason, how they all had bad games, like Tannehill. And I mean, you probably need a little tune up.
All right. So let's go into week 2 then.
Okay.
Let's make our picks. I'll go ahead and read up the matchups. We'll make our picks. We'll follow it up next episode as well to see how we did. But first game I have on the board is our Thursday night game. It is the Giants against the Washington football team. Who you got?
I got the Washington football team.
Okay. Any reason why?
I think Taylor Heineke's not as bad as people might think. I think they've got some weapons in scary Terry McLaurin. Chase Young. I mean, I also don't believe in Daniel Jones. I don't really believe in the Giants as a whole. Come on.
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes. More like Danny Nichols. I don't know, man.
So with that being said, I'm going the G-Man. I'll go Giants.
All right,
Giants.
Nice.
I like them. They did not play well their first game, but they got a lot of talent. Saquon's on the team, and I'm still high on them this year, even after a subpar showing week 1. Moving on, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a fun one to watch. The Raiders versus Steelers.
I got the Raiders. I think they'll clean up some of the mistakes they made last week. I do think John Gruden is maybe a little too old school for today's NFL, but I do think that with Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, I mean, they got a good team. Carl Nassib. I mean, they got some good players on both sides of the ball. I think the Raiders win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I went Raiders last week as well. I'm going to go them again. I do like Jacobs again, fantasy player, been on the team a couple of years.
Nice.
And I do like Gruden. I mean, the ball's on that guy for the game-winning, Hail Mary last week was an awesome play. Moving on, 49ers at Eagles, Philly.
49ers versus Eagles. I got the Niners. I think the Niners are deceptively good. I think they've got a quarterback issue, right? But other than that, the team is pretty solid. I think Elijah Mitchell steps in for Raheem Mostert.
I was gonna say they got a running back issues
and continue. But I mean, he broke a rookie record, right? Rookie first week record. He had like 100 yards and a touchdown, 108 yards or something and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, I think he replicates that again, and I think they've got a good offensive line as well. So
yeah, and Shanahan's a boss.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna go Philly. I'm gonna go Philly on this one. I like Jalen Hurts. I like his mobility, making plays happen. I'm going Philly.
Yeah, he is good. He looked great last week.
Next up, Texans, Cleveland.
Texans, Cleveland. I got the Browns. I mean,
yeah,
man, I was surprised to see Texans dismantle the Jaguars like they did. But
yep.
I mean, the Browns are good. They're for real.
Yeah, I'm going Cleveland as well. I like the Browns. They are for real. Speaking of Jaguars, Broncos, Jacksonville.
I got Broncos. I think the Jaguars in disarray.
I agree. There's already rumors about like Urban Meyer going to USC, like going back to college. His heart's just not in the NFL. Like, what a mess.
Yeah, I mean, he can't have to say today, like, oh, there's no chance I'm going there. But how many times have coaches always said 0% chance I'm going there? I think Nick Saban said that about going to Alabama. It's like
never show your hand.
All right, dude.
Right. Yeah, I'm going Broncos. Melvin Gordon, give me some more points. Saints, Panthers at Carolina.
Saints, Panthers. I've got the Saints. I've got LASIK, Jameis Winston, baby.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've always been a fan of Jameis. I'm going Saints.
That's good.
Dude, there's something about Sean Payton in that team. I don't think they'll ever be bad. Like, they're never going to be the Aints again, you know?
Sean Payton just makes it so easy on the quarterback, I feel like.
Yeah.
He made Taysom Hill look good.
Right. Rams, Colts at Indianapolis.
Rams, Colts. I got Rams.
Same.
I mean,
I think
the Rams are good.
Exactly. Rams are good. They're a good football team.
Yeah.
Bills, Dolphins. Dolphins with the surprise win over New England last week.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see the Bills lose last week too. But I think the Bills tuned it up a little bit. They feed Stephon Diggs a little more, spread the ball out. Anti-vaxxer Cole Beasley grabs the ball instead of dropping some passes, and they win.
I'm gonna ride the Miami wave and go Dolphins again. I think the Bills are gonna start out 0-2, top story. You know, like Buffalo's gonna go crazy. Those fans are nuts. I'm going Dolphins on that one.
What do you think about Tua? I was gonna ask.
I mean, he seems like he's not the player before his like hip dislocation, but he's still a leader, you know, and he still gives that team an identity, which they haven't had in a long time. And they got Gaskin, they got some good players there.
Yeah.
And they're just going through kind of like a new culture, new rebuild. But I like Miami.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him. I like when Miami is relevant.
Yeah. Patriots at Jets. Zach Wilson, paging.
I got the Pats. I just feel weird ever picking the Jets about anything.
How stupid is it that Mac Jones is good and the Patriots are probably going to have him for the next 15 years?
I mean, it's just classic Belichick, isn't it?
It's so like frustrating. It's so classic Belichick, but so frustrating. Yeah, I'm going Patriots as well. They spread the ball out a ton. Mac Jones being a rookie, same with Wilson. It should be a fun game. A lot of eyes on that one, watching those two rookies go. The next game, the biggest game of the week, some say the game of the year, Cincinnati Bengals at the Chicago Bears.
I got Bears. I think that we tuned some stuff up. I think we fixed some stuff on the offense. I think the defense comes out more alert, more ready to play. And I think we squeak out a win against the Bengals. I think it's like a moderate shootout.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like Mike Dick on those, like, you know, Sunday morning talk shows. Bears, gotta be Bears all time, no matter
Always,
what. I'm picking the Bears.
Literally, it could have been anyone. I would have picked the Bears.
Yeah. If the, you know, gun in my head, gambling, I might go Bengals, but we'll say Bears.
No, I'm still going Bears, like Keanu Reeves and Hardball picking the Bulls. We're just gonna hammer it every time.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Bears. Some new wrinkles. A lot of the players seem very vocal. Even Bill Lazor was vocal about putting Fields in there, giving him opportunity, and
Yeah.
also stretching the ball down the field a little bit more.
Yeah, hopefully it gives everyone a kick in the ass, all this bullshit, because
Yeah.
I can't listen to these Matt Nagy press conferences like this.
A lot of defensive players too, as well as like, sometimes you go on the film and it's not as bad as you think it is. This week it was as bad as you thought it was. So hopefully the defense, man, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, good.
If our
I hope they were
defense goes,
embarrassed.
if our defense goes, I think we'll be all right. All right, moving on. Falcons at Buccaneers.
Falcons, Bucks. I got Bucks. I mean,
that's no brainer for me, Buccaneers. And I'm also looking for a huge bounce back game from Rojo, Ronald Jones. Hopefully he doesn't fumble and gets in Bruce Arians' doghouse again.
Right.
That was tough. This is going to be a fun game. Vikings, Cardinals.
Vikings, Cardinals. I've got Cardinals. Man, did you see Chandler Jones last week?
Yep. He had five sacks,
2 forced fumbles. What an animal. I think
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is going to have a long day at the office.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. I'm going Cardinals all day. Titans at Seahawks. That's going to be a good one.
I've got Seahawks. I think, man, the Titans did not look good last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. I mean, Julio Jones had that late personal foul, just like losing his cool. I mean,
yeah. I'm going Seahawks afternoon game in Seattle. 12th man there's pretty aggressive. I'm going Seattle. And then we're back to the Cowboys at the Chargers up in LA now. Cowboys Chargers.
I've got Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is for real. I think that will be a high scoring game, and I think Chargers win with like a field goal at the end or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers as well. I think the Chargers are one of the better teams. God damn it, LA.
They're good.
Having the Chargers and the Rams.
I got Eckler. I've had Eckler for years. I love that guy. I'm always rooting for that guy.
Yeah,
he seems like a cool dude too.
Going Chargers. Next game, we got 2 more here. Chiefs at Ravens. Sunday night.
Man, I really want to go Ravens, but I think the Chiefs win that game.
You have to, right? I mean, even watching the Chiefs Browns, and like Browns were in control pretty much for 3 quarters, and then just like the Chiefs chiefed and Mahomes, and they scored like 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes. And
it was so similar to the Brady dissection on Thursday night. It's just like, oh, the guys got the ball with too much time left.
Yep. Monday night game, big one for us. Our division here, the Lions at the Packers.
Oh man, I would hope the Packers win. If the Packers don't win that game, that is not good news for them. The Lions are bad, right? DeAndre Swift looked good. They kind of came back, right, and made it interesting. But
I mean, all the running backs were producing, but you got to think that one's in Lambeau. You think that the Giants or the Packers, the Packers are going to kind of show out, I believe.
Yeah, especially after this week, I feel like Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. I bet I wouldn't put it past him to throw like 5 touchdowns and just spread it around. And
exactly. Yeah, it's good. And then he's going to give
what's up, everybody?
The most smug post game.
I like him. I know I'm not supposed to say it as a Bears fan, but I love the guy. I think he's awesome. I hated to see him do that last week.
I don't like him at all.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I mean,
yeah. But awesome. All right, we'll check those next week. We'll recap it just like we did this week, and that's looking forward. I mean, NFL's back. It's so exciting. I'm just having a lot of fun covering it. Fantasy football as well, and just having the games are back. The red zone's back. It's a lot of fun. Hey man, thanks for being on here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, and if I could just plug one thing, the next Some Word show, November 6th at Chop Shop. It's an Alzheimer's benefit known as Fall Catalog Night. Tickets will go on sale soon. So I'll post a link to those on my social media. Maybe you guys can retweet it and stuff. But, they've done a great job raising over like close to $100,000 for Alzheimer's Foundation in the last few years. And it's a great time, live music, drinks, food, and charity. So, yeah, it would be great to see you guys there.
And what's the social media tags that they could follow you on?
Yeah, so it's I'm pretty sure it's just like @BlakeSchwartz on Instagram, on Twitter. If you search Some Words too on Spotify, SUM space WYRDS on those various social media aspects and various streaming sites, you'll find my music.
Perfect, man. Sounds like a lot of fun. All right, man. This has been great.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks for listening. Cheers.